Typhon, hurling massive rocks, attacked the gods, spouting a great jet of fire from his mouth, destroying everything in his path. Zeus, standing his ground, pelted Typhon at a distance with thunderbolts one after the other, and at close quarters struck him down with an adamantine sickle. Wounded, Typhon fled to the Syrian Mount Casios, where Zeus grappled with him. But Typhon, striking his snaky coils around Zeus, was able to wrestle away the sickle and cut the tendons from Zeus's hands and feet. Zeus, screaming in agony, was dragged away across the sea to the Corichian cave in Cilicia, where he set the she-serpent Delphine to guard over Zeus and his severed sinews, which Typhon had hidden in a bearskin. Welcome to the history realm. Now, what would you think if the very roots of nightmares and fear had parents? Well, picture this. A colossal figure of dread, the creature with 100 fire-breathing dragon heads, a torso covered in vipers, and legs made of coiled serpents that never slept. Also, we can't forget about Echidna, a haunting blend of woman and serpent that lurks in the shadows of pure darkness. Yet both remain still enduring icons of the mythology that gave us stories like of Heracles and the Olympian gods. Now let's enter the realm of Typhon and Echidna, names that reverberate through the corridors of Greek mythology as the mother and father of an army of monstrous offspring. Together they make up one of the most fearsome duos in mythological history. Did you know Typhon was born from the very depths of the earth itself? Gaia, the primordial goddess, he was the last son of Gaia and Tartarus, kept in the shadows until he was unleashed to challenge the divine order. Even the gods shuddered at its mention. Typhon confronted Zeus and in their first battle, managed to repel almost all of the Olympian gods, a battle that will echo through eternity. In this video, we unravel their dark tale, from origins to legacy, diving deep into the lore that has captured imaginations for centuries. It starts with Gaia, the Earth Mother, and Tartarus, the deep abyss, created Typhon, a monstrous giant. He was said to stand taller than the mountains, his head often described as touching the stars. Typhon was no ordinary creature. His 100 serpent heads hissed, spat venom, and produced all manner of terrifying sounds. Fire blazed from his eyes, and his body was frightfully full of vipers. In some accounts, his arms were said to stretch from east to west, essentially spanning the horizon. But Typhon wasn't just a terrifying spectacle. He had a purpose: to challenge the rule of the Olympian gods. Imbued with incredible strength and venomous wrath, Typhon was Gaia's answer to the imprisonment of her earlier children, the Titans, which had been defeated and banished to Tartarus by the Olympians. His very existence posed a formidable threat, shaking the heavens and earth alike. No deity or mortal could look upon him without feeling the profound dread his appearance conjured. Typhon was a walking cataclysm, a creature of such power that his name became synonymous with devastating storms, the typhoons we speak of today. So in other words, Typhon was the Mike Tyson of Greek mythology. Anyways, Echidna was no less fascinating than her partner Typhon. She was born to Phorcys and Ceto, ancient sea gods connected with the hidden depths and dangers of the ocean. Echidna was a paradoxical blend of human and serpent, a dichotomy that unsettled anyone who beheld her. Echidna's upper body was that of a beautiful woman, often described as captivatingly lovely, while her lower half was that of a serpent, coiled and ready to strike. She lived in a secluded cave, away from the watchful gaze of both mortals and gods, venturing out only to play her part in the larger scheme of mythological stories. While Typhon was a force of destructive power, Echidna was the embodiment of lurking dread. She was cunning, intelligent, and manipulative, traits that made her a formidable adversary in her own right. She was immortal, and unlike other mythological beings who wielded their immortality with a sense of grandiosity, she used hers with a cunning sense of purpose. Her purpose, much like Typhon's, was deeply rooted in a destiny that intertwined with the Olympian gods and the very fabric of ancient Greek mythology. The union between Echidna and Typhon was a dark marriage made in the abysses of mythology. In a world ruled by divine hierarchies and cosmic order, their coming together was an act of defiance, a challenge to the very gods who sat on their celestial thrones. While the exact details of how they met are shrouded in the mists of legends, it's clear that their partnership was a fateful one. Typhon's earth-shattering power and Echidna's cunning created a formidable alliance that gave even the gods of Olympus pause. Ancient texts often depict them secluded in their lair, plotting the downfall of gods or nurturing their monstrous offspring. Make sure to hit the like button if you are enjoying this story. Okay, let's move on. Typhon and Echidna's offspring are a rogue gallery of legendary creatures, each marking their unique imprint on Greek mythology. Cerberus, the three-headed hound, stands guard at the gates of the underworld, ensuring souls remain confined to Hades. The Hydra of Lerna presents a seemingly insurmountable challenge. Its many heads regenerate when severed, confronting heroes with a problem that defies easy solutions. The Nemean lion that lived at Nemea. Eventually, it was killed by Heracles. Because its golden fur was impervious to attack, it could not be killed with mortals' weapons. Its claws were sharper than mortal swords and could destroy any strong armor in its way. The Chimera, a fire-breathing hybrid of lion, goat, and serpent, becomes a symbol of unnatural terror, sowing chaos wherever it roams. The Sphinx poses riddles that spell doom for those who answer incorrectly, embodying the perilous nature of wisdom. Finally, Ladon, the hundred-headed dragon, guards the golden apples in the Garden of the Hesperides, challenging heroes to confront both might and vigilance. These creatures don't just serve as narrative hurdles for heroes like Heracles and Perseus. They function as benchmarks for heroism and tests of divine order, pressing gods and heroes alike to prove their mettle. Even though most of these monsters had their lunches eaten fairly easily. Now, one cannot discuss Typhon without mentioning his audacious rebellion against the Olympian gods. Typhon, in his insatiable quest for power, set his sights on the highest prize, the throne of Zeus. Far from a simple skirmish, this cosmic battle engaged the heavens, the earth, and even the depths of Tartarus. Typhon, discontent with being a mere offspring of Gaia and Tartarus, sought to dethrone the king of gods and take his place as the ruler of all realms. This uprising was of such magnitude that many of the Olympian gods fled in fear, disguising themselves as animals and hiding in various corners of the earth like Egypt. Only Zeus stood his ground, determined to quash the rebellion and preserve the divine order he had worked so hard to establish. Armed with his trusty thunderbolts and aided by the winged shoes of Hermes, Zeus engaged Typhon in a battle that shook the very foundations of the universe. Thunder clashed with the roars of 100 serpent heads, and lightning bolts struck against the fiery breath of the monstrous giant, but Zeus ends up wounded. Only when Hermes and Pan stole the tendons that were ripped off by Typhon was when the strength of Zeus was restored. Zeus has a lot of praising to do after being saved from all that losing. Anyways, soon Zeus chased Typhon to Mount Nysa, where the Moirai tricked Typhon into eating ephemeral fruits which weakened him. Zeus's thunderbolts at this point prevailed. After a prolonged and harrowing battle, Zeus finally managed to subdue Typhon. He hurled his defeated foe into Tartarus, sealing him deep within the earth under Mount Etna. The triumph fortified the Olympian order, while also serving as a personal victory for Zeus. Typhon's rebellion served as a crucial turning point in mythology, a wake-up call to gods and mortals alike about the ever-present threats lurking in the corners of their world. The defeat of Typhon cemented Zeus's rule and reaffirmed the power hierarchy among the gods, but the echoes of this epic battle continue to resonate, serving as a grim reminder of what happens when one dares to challenge the divine order. The story of Typhon and Echidna shows us the darker side of Greek myths. From their own terrifying tales to the scary creatures they brought into the world, their impact is huge. Well, there you have it. If you enjoyed learning about these fearsome figures and their monster children, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more great stories like this one. Until next time on the History Realm.